Welcome, my name is Anika Spencer, and for today's yoga flow, we're going to be focusing on staying present with the discomfort that is necessary in order to build some strength as well as some flexibility. For some of us, it's the flexibility side that tends to give us a little bit more of resistance mentally. For others, sometimes it's the strength side of things where we start to feel resistant towards it. So to start, find a place where you're standing with your feet just beneath your hips, your glutes. Close your eyes if you're not already there. Then stretch up nice and tall through your spine, relaxing the tops of your shoulders. Lifting up through the top of your head, the tops of your ears. Listening to that inward experience of breath. Then mindfully creating audibility to the breath. Lengthening out the breath as you stretch into its edges. Practicing being present with that thing that's happening right now, namely stillness, breath, awareness. A steady, slow inhale. A long exhale. On your next inhale, circle the arms up. You can keep the eyes closed or open them. As you exhale, bend the elbows, get broad across your chest. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, bend the elbows, small opening of the upper back as you broaden the chest. Once more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows, chest open, back arches. Inhale, reach back up nice and long through your spine. Draw the abdomen back and in as you bow forward to your thighs, forward fold. Allow some rounding here, bend both knees. If you'd like, you can hold on to opposite elbows for ragdoll. Notice the places that fill up with breath. Maybe it's the low back, the waistline, the core. Release your hands to the floor, halfway lift. Then bend into your left knee and plant your left hand to the floor or to a block or a block if that's what you're working with. Take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Turn this open for a twist. Notice the hips swing out to wide. Instead, you'll keep hugging that outer right hip in. Then revolving through the ribs, feel the underside of your left side wrap underneath you. Top right side of the waist wraps back. Release the hand down and switch it out. Right hand roots, bend into your right knee. Take your left hand and reach it up towards the ceiling for a twist. Still feeling the waistline knitting in as you revolve and turn your sternum to the side. Feeling a subtle energy of outer hip stability, so we're not moving with the hips, but rotating with the spine. Release that hand down and towards the earth, bow in and fold. On your inhale, halfway lift, slide the tops of the shoulders, broaden away from your ears. As you exhale, bow back into your legs, forward fold. Circle the arms up, stretch all the way to tall as you touch the hands. As you exhale, guide your hands into the heart. Same thing with breath. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, broad across your chest. Inhale, reach long, neutral spine. Exhale, stay strong in the core as you peel open across that upper back space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach back to long. Exhale, bow to the thighs. You can bend both knees and even round. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend into your left knee and root into your left hand. On your inhale, stretch that right hand up towards the ceiling as you twist. As you exhale, lower the hand back down. Inhale, halfway lift, extend. As you exhale, bend into your right knee. On your inhale, lift the left hand up, turn this into a twist. As you exhale, release, bow back into your legs. On your inhale, halfway lift, supported spine, core in. Exhale, bow back into your legs. Circle the arms all the way up. We'll stretch to tall, connect the hands. As you exhale, gather your hands down and into your heart. Take your left foot, step it behind your right, so we're crossing and touching the pinky side of the feet towards one another. On your inhale, stretch the arms up. Then take hold of that opposite wrist and stretch up and over towards the right side of your mat. Once again, knit in the core. Feel that stretch you taller. Then keep lengthening and reaching into that flexibility. On your inhale, come back through the center. Keep your ankles crossed as you bow forward to your legs. On the inhale, extend the spine. As you exhale, step to the back of your mat with your left foot. Set that back knee all the way down and towards the mat. If you want to roll over the mat or use a towel to pat it more, that's great. On your inhale, stretch all the way up, nice and long through your waistline, knee dropped lunge. Outer hips are knitting inward, holding more towards center. This might be where you lean in more deeply to the stretch, but keep lower abdomen drawing in, so we're isolating into the front of the hip. Release the hands down and towards the earth. Plant your palms and send your right foot all the way back towards the back of your mat. Take that right foot, then stretch it high and wide out to the right, keeping that outer left hip in. As you exhale, stretch the heel back towards the back of the room. On your inhale, send that right heel high and wide, feeling that ignition of the outer hip. As you exhale, stretch the heel back. Inhale, take the heel high and wide. Exhale, send the heel back. Inhale, heel goes high and wide. Keep that little lift. And as you exhale, lower the foot all the way down and towards the mat. Walk your hands out to forward, feeling the inner thigh, and lower the chest heavier towards the floor for that shoulder lat stretch. If you want to do it different, palms can come to kiss, elbows might press down into the mat. Using the breath and your awareness to stay aware of everything that erupts. Release the hands to the floor if they're not already there. Walk them back underneath your shoulders. Then place both knees right underneath your hips. Palms plant, curl your toes under, elevate the hips back up to high for downward facing dog. You can relax the neck or place the ears just inside the biceps. Still pressing into all 10 fingers of the hands, those first finger and thumb specific if they tend to lift. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Take as many steps as you like to bring your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. On your inhale, find your halfway lift. As you exhale, bow back into your thighs. Circle the arms all the way up. We'll stretch up to tall and connect the hands. As you exhale, guide the hands down and into your heart. Take the opposite foot, cross it behind. Right foot is now crossing behind the left. Stretch the arms up, reach all the way to tall. Take hold of that opposite wrist, then stretch up and over, side body length. Lift the abdomen in from the side, so we're stretching taller even as you lengthen through that sideline. On your inhale, come back up through center. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, ankles stay crossed. On your inhale, extended spine. As you exhale, step back with your right foot all the way to the back of your mat. Lower your right knee down and towards the earth. You can fold the mat if you wish. Then stretch long enough, coming into your knee dropped lunge. Note any places where this isn't intentional. Staying present with where the discomfort lives. Staying with the breath. Release the hands down and towards the earth. Frame the foot. Take your left foot and stretch it all the way back towards the back line of your mat. On your inhale, move the left heel high and wide out and towards the left. Keep it as high as the hip if it's an option. As you exhale, stretch the heel towards the back of the room. On your inhale, heel goes high and wide, opposite right hip keeps hugging in. As you exhale, stretch that heel back. Inhale, left heel goes high and wide. Exhale, heel stretches back. Inhale, left heel goes high and wide. Lower the foot all the way down and towards the mat. Walk both of your hands out to forward. Keep turning the outer edges of your triceps and armpits down. Then allow your chest and forehead to start to get heavier towards the mat. If you took that option of kissing palms, great. It's still here for you in this opposite side. Walk the hands back in underneath your shoulders. Bring that extended foot in so you have your knees beneath your hips. Curl your toes under, elevate the hips back to tall for downward facing dog. You could experiment with pressing one heel to the mat and then the other. Noticing if there's any rush to move past or get to what's next. Lift the heels, bend your knees. Take that journey forward towards the top of your mat. On the inhale, find an extended spine. As you exhale, bow back into your legs. Circle the arms all the way up to tall. We'll stretch up and kiss the hands. As you exhale, guide the hands into your heart. Take your left foot, step it behind your right. On your inhale, stretch the arms up. As you exhale, hold the left wrist, reach up and over towards the right. On your inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs. Inhale, extended spine. Exhale, step back with your left foot. High lunge this time, crescent lunge, rise up to tall. As you exhale, release the hand down and towards the earth. Take your right foot, stretch it all the way back. This time we'll hold a plank. As you exhale, take the toes a little wide out and to the right. We'll keep the hip point pointing towards the floor. On your inhale, toes reach back. Exhale, right toes go wide. Embracing that with breath. Inhale. Exhale, right toes point a little wide. Inhale, toes stretch back. Exhale, either lower the foot to the floor, or if it feels right to you, keep it lifted. We'll go halfway towards the mat or to the abdomen. Then upward facing dog, maybe cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. On your inhale, lift your right leg again. Exhale, bring the right foot forward in between the hands. Stretch up to crescent. Inhale, will rise. As you exhale, straighten out the front leg and move your hands in and towards the heart. Take your back foot and root that heel to the mat. So you're squaring off to the top of the mat, but still pressing into both feet actively. Then tip forward with your chest and find the space where there's flexibility, but also strength. Might feel like you're pressing into the mat to resist, holding in at your core. And at this space, you might even start to lift in and out, maybe an inch or two as you pulse. Even as you move more quickly, can you still keep the breath slow? Noting the gaze, whether that's on the practice or on a specific area of the room. Come back through center on your in-breath. As you exhale, step it forward to the top of your mat, Tadasana. Take your right foot, wrap it behind your left ankle. On your inhale, stretch to tall. Hold the right wrist, then reach up and over towards that left side of your mat. On your inhale, stretch back through center. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to the back of your mat with your right foot. Inhale, lengthen up. It's crescent lunge. As you exhale, lower the hands down and towards the mat. Send your left foot towards the back of the mat, holding in your plank pose for strength. You can also set the knee down if you need just a little less. On your inhale, move the left foot wider. Hip bone is still pointing towards the floor. As you exhale, bring it back in line with your hip. Inhale, take those toes a little wider. Exhale, left foot in line with the middle of your glute. Inhale, left toes move wide. And bring it back in line with your glute. Lower halfway or all the way to the earth. Upward facing dog, maybe cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. On your inhale, lift with that left leg. As you exhale, bring that left foot forward in between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge will rise up. As you exhale, straighten out your front leg and bring your hands into the heart. Back foot's going to come forward so you feel a more solid base. Foot can even widen so it's as wide as each hip. Then tip forward with your torso, abdomen stays in and strong. Some of this resistance might feel like pressing down, holding stable inside this moment with some rooted intention. Notice if you start to round the spine or even close off the chest, and we'll keep both of those spaces in their neutral position, which for most of us feels like it's intentionally opening in resistance to gravity. Potentially coming in and out. Pulsing here with a long, slow breath. Still staying audible with the inhale. Long and true with that exhale. Use the strength of your center to rise all the way up to tall. Then step forward to the top of your mat for Tadasana, mountain pose. Try a cleansing breath. Breathe in through your nose. Then send it out through your mouth. Bring your toes to kiss. Draw the thighs back. Stretch your arms either forward or up for chair pose. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. On the inhale, find a halfway lift, extended spine. As you exhale, plant your palms down, shift it back to plank. If you want to try a lifted leg, great, or a slow chaturanga, you're welcome to it. On your inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Cobra is from the belly. As you exhale, downward facing dog, hips go back to high. On your inhale, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bring the right foot forward and between the hands. On your inhale, stretch up. It's your crescent lunge. As you exhale, plant your hands to the earth and come forward for standing splits. Float up that back leg, but use the strength of the back of the thigh. On the inhale, feel that lift from the back of the leg. As you exhale, bend both knees. Bring your left knee in line with your right. You can also place the hands on blocks if that gives you a little extra lift, spinal support. On your inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, lift the leg up intentionally. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, lift that left leg up. As you exhale, step it back to long. Lower your knee down and towards the earth and lengthen through both sides of your waist again. Circle your right hand down to the area of the sacrum, that right back side of the hips, or even that lower back space. Then drive the left thumb back, really emphasizing this length rising through the front of your hip crease. Just like where we pulsed before with the fold forward, this time you might pulse a little back, just driving the thumb back, but make sure this is happening from the movement in the hip rather than the spine moving. It might be a little tricky to cultivate. These little pulsations can be stimulating for new layers of tissue, especially in that longer side of the muscle. And release that. Circle the hands down and towards the earth. Shift everything back for downward facing dog, hips high. Other side, lift the left leg, in breath. As you exhale, bring the foot forward and between your hands. Crescent lunge, rise to tall. As you exhale, bring the hands down and towards the mat. Float up your back leg, standing splits, feeling that instigation from the back of the thigh lifting itself. Hips are still actively participating in this process. As you inhale, lift the leg a little higher. As you exhale, bend both knees and bring that right knee in line with your left. On your inhale, lift that right leg higher. Exhale, bring the knees in line, a little bit of a squat through the legs. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, bring the knee in. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, step it back to long. Lower that back knee down and towards the mat. Inhale, rise through the waist. As you exhale, circle the left hand to the area of lower back or sacrum. Right thumb presses back, but we'll feel that length coming through the hip crease. You might even feel it in the quad. And if you have that strong awareness that the low back is supported, you might start to pulse and reach. Stimulating that rebuilding process. Still connecting to the moment at hand, to the breath. Release the hand down into the earth. Shift your hips back to high, downward facing dog. Lift the heels, bend your knees. Make the journey forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back in. Toes are kissing, hips drop low, arms can stretch forward or up. Then as you exhale, stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take another cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale it out your mouth. Toes touch one another, thighs draw back, arms stretch forward or skyward. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs. On your inhale, find your halfway lift. Extend the spine. As you exhale, plant the palms down and shift it back and into your plank. Option to take your chaturanga halfway to the earth or all the way to the belly. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Hips go back up to high. On your inhale, lift your right leg. As you exhale, bring your right foot forward and through between your hands. Crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up, long through the waist. As you exhale, bring the hands to the earth. Lift up that back leg, standing splits. You have a couple options. You can stay here in standing splits. Maybe you just want to bend the knee in and tap, or even see how far over you can take the right knee or the left knee behind the right while still squaring that outer right hip. Different opportunity. Plant that right hand to the left hand to the floor. Take hold of your left foot in your right hand. Send the heel to the side, lower the hips closer to the mat. Placing the top of the left quad in connection with that back of the calf or ankle, usually a pretty dramatic hip stretch. Maybe a flirtatious endeavor, stay with the breath. Good, when you release the foot, we'll find our way back to standing splits, perhaps. Then as you exhale, step it all the way to meet that front foot. So hips drop low, toes are kissing, chair pose. Arms stretch up, inhale. As you exhale, stand to tall, Tadasana. Toes kiss, hips drop low, arms stretch up. Exhale, bow forward to the legs. Inhale for your extended spine. Exhale, palms plant, shift back for plank. Lower slow, keep your head in line with the tops of your shoulders. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. On the inhale, lift with your left leg. Exhale, left foot comes forward between your hands. Inhale for your crescent, rising up to tall. Exhale, hands go to the mat, back thigh lifts up. You have that option of staying with a lifted leg or even bending the knee, seeing how far does it go over towards the opposite side. If you're feeling like you're ready or curious about that experiment of placing the hand to the floor and holding the foot with the opposite hand, you might send the heel wide to the side. Notice if the front of your shoulder hooks forward, we'll broaden it out, still staying in a nice neutral position with the shoulder or a supported position like your chaturangas. You might feel this in the flexibility of the outer hip. Perhaps it's even in the back of the thigh. Back to your standing split. Inhale. As you exhale, step that back foot forward to meet the front and drop your hips low for your chair. Arms stretch up, inhale. Exhale, stand to tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Cleansing breath again, inhale. Exhale, send it out the mouth. Take your toes to point out to wide. Heels a bit further apart, then lower your hips down and towards the earth, coming towards Malasana.
If you want to sit on a block, that's a welcome decision. The hips might even need to stay higher. Can you keep the tops of the shoulders open? And actively open the outer hips by using them there. Utilize the outer hips and open the inner thigh. And then sit yourself all the way down to the floor. Extend both heels out and wide to the side. And your task might be to sit tall, even if that sitting tall means you're leaning a little back. A different option is sometimes to roll the mat behind you so you have a little lift to the back of your seat. And if you're one of the really flexible individuals, a small bend to the knees might help rather than pressing the backs of the knees into the floor. Good. Then let the challenge now be, as you close your eyes, to get into the discomfort of moving slow or slower than you're used to moving. And that might mean a breath or two of non-action. Of listen, of wait. Of preparation, of germination. And if you're not already there, take your fingertips behind you to plant. Slowly, on the inhale, move your chest an inch or two forward, but we'll keep a nice lengthened spine. There's no need to round into this position. As you exhale, press into the heels and use the whole exhale to come back up to where you were. On your inhale, tip just that inch or two forward. As you exhale, come right back out. Letting this be a breath exercise as well as a physical practice, coming forward an inch or two. Then coming back up. Noticing if there's any space you rush as you inhale, come forward. As you exhale, rise. As you inhale, come forward. As you exhale, rise back up. Three more. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to rise. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to rise. Last one, coming forward. And rising back up. Take your hands to the outer line of your legs. Bend the knees and bring them back in closer in line with your hips. Then recline all the way down to the mat. Taking your right leg, cross that right knee over your left. Then bring the legs closer towards you, and that might mean holding the tops of the shins as you square the hips, moving the outer right hip away from your armpit. This is a prominent stretch. Great, stay here. If you want something different, you might hold the ankles and start to lift the heels higher to the side. Observe if the breath you were just creating as you leaned forward and rose back up is still here. Is it the same pace?
Is it creatable right now? Then let go, undo the legs, and bind them the other way. You can hold the knees again. Maybe this is where you felt the stretch last time, but it's not quite here in this side. And that is noteworthy, but not necessarily an indication that we want to take this deeper on this side. As a matter of fact, it might be your cue to revisit the other side and spend more time there. If things are relatively even, you might come into holding the ankles if you did so on the opposite side. Maybe lifting the ankles a little wider. And if necessary, rekindling that relationship with breath. And releasing the grip on the ankles, on the knees. Take the feet wide and rock the knees side to side. Loosening there, letting it go. Once you feel fairly complete, extend your legs. Relax the shoulders back. If that means sliding the shoulder blade tips down and towards the backs of your hips, that's great. And decidingly staying present, not just with the process itself, but also with whatever is surfacing, whatever is rising. Whatever comes from that willing work of effort. Whatever comes from that built commitment to presence. Beginning your process of waking up, it might mean moving the toes, the fingers. Shifting at ankles or wrists. Reaching an arm above the head, bending the knees. Moving onto one side or the other. Press forward, press up and into the seat of your choice. Connect your palms right at the center of your heart. Bowing inward to presence, I bow to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. You did a great job. Please subscribe to our Driven YouTube below if you would like to continue to practice with us online, as well as reach out to us over email if you would like to book a one-on-one consult with one of our staff. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful week.